Hey girl, hey, welcome to Tia's Table. Let's talk about everything from the latest fitness and wellness trends, recipes that are actually worth cooking, and the craziness that's happening on our side of the internet. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. I'm Tia, the girlfriend that you may not get to talk to all the time, but when you do finally catch up, it's like no time has passed at all. Ooh, I'm so excited to be back for a regular episode. Thank you so much for all of the messages that I have received based on our season 5 premiere episode, which if you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to it because it'll make this episode make so much sense. Before we get into what I want to talk about today, let's talk about what's on my table right now, or what was on my table earlier today. Now, part of my whole little situation that I've got going on that has actually been quite pleasant is the fact that anytime I have a doctor's appointment, I go out to lunch after the appointment. It's kind of like a treat for having gone through whatever I just went through. And today, my husband and I went to Five Guys. Now, I have not been to Five Guys. Let's see. If my oldest child is 15, I probably haven't been to a Five Guys, I would say, in 14 years when we lived in San Antonio, Texas, right? Well, they just opened up a new Five Guys near us, and I was like, you know what? To celebrate today, let's go get a burger. We went into Five Guys, and I might cough during this. We go into Five Guys, and I order the patty melt because I had previously seen on social media where people had talked about the patty melts and how good they were. Oh my gosh. When I mean to tell you, I had no idea how good that was going to be. Now, I got my patty melt with lettuce, tomato, onions, grilled onions, and mayonnaise and mustard. And it was perfectly delicious. I mean, it was on toasted sourdough bread. I ate it right off the skillet. And as I was eating it, I said to myself, there are fewer things in life better than a really good burger. And I know red meat gets a bad rep, and certainly before my little medical season, I still don't even know what to call this, but before I was in the situation I'm in now, I really wasn't eating that much red meat. But, based on what I can and can't eat right now, to be honest with you, it's been very easy just eating red meat because it's tender, it's soft, and it just checks all the boxes for me right now. So, oh my gosh, when I mean to tell y'all that burger was good, that burger was delightful on this Wednesday afternoon. Oh my gosh, if you have not had one, or if you have not had a patty melt, period. Now, I don't know. I can't speak for the quality of patty melts all over the world, but I would highly recommend the one at Five Guys. And I'm going to go out on a limb, say what you want to about me, judge me if you must, but I have a feeling that the patty melt at the Waffle House is probably the only other patty melt I would feel comfortable recommending to people. Not that I've had one of those in a long time either, because I haven't. But the last time I had one, I do remember being quite pleased. Either one of those, and you're going to be glad you did it. Get you a patty melt. Now, at the Waffle House, I don't think they got all them toppings. And if you ask for those at the Waffle House, you might have to fight. I don't know. But I do know if you go down to Five Guys, they have all of the toppings, all of the things. And it's going to be so good, just so good to you. So that's what was on my table today. I do hope you go and get yourself a good old patty melt from somewhere. Now, let's do a quick little update. Since I talked to you on Monday, I graduated from physical therapy. So excited about that. I had my assessment early Tuesday morning. And to be honest with you, I think what happened at my assessment, when he rang the doorbell, I go downstairs to answer it. And when he saw how well I was moving around the house, he was just like, you know what? Let's just go outside and go for a walk without your walker. And if you do well with that, like, you're good, because I see how well like you're moving around your house. And I was like, okay, well, no problem. So we go out, we go for our walk, we come back, and he was basically like, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and like sign you out of physical therapy. So you'll have one more session with your regular therapist. She'll come next week. But then after that, like, you won't be getting any more sessions. He approved me to walk alone outside. Oh, I love that. So now I can go on walks by myself, but I do have to use my walker if I go by myself. If I do not want to use my walker for my walks, then I do have to still have someone with me. He gave me a full approval to start bouncing around town, going here, there, and everywhere. Not solo, but I can go, which, I'll take it. I will take it. I did not get the approval to drive. He said that had to come from my doctor. He's not allowed to give us our driving like rights back. But he did say he doesn't see a reason why my doctor would say no, which, to be honest with you, while I'm sure my doctor will let me drive, I am not pressed to drive. Only because the whole point of being able to drive is to go places independently, solo. And if I still have to have someone with me, what good is driving going to do for me? Now, maybe I could start meeting people places, because then technically I'm not alone for the activity. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not pressed about the driving. I was more, really interested in being able to go on walks by myself and being able to just get out of the house, period. Like, get me out of here. I literally have books on hold at the library that I would like to go pick up. I'm still waiting for one book to come in. But when that other book finally comes in, I'm like, I want to go get my books from the library, right? And there are just things I want to see. I know they have holiday decorations and decor all over the stores. I would like to go peruse an aisle or two and see what can accidentally fall into a cart, which, that probably will have different vibes to it, because I would probably be going to do that with my husband. Might feel a little bit different because he'll want to put stuff in the cart. And then will we have to talk about those things? I don't know. So see, I don't know. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Okay? But I'm just happy that I can go anywhere at all, right? Then today I had my appointment with the infectious disease doctor, where I learned that my white blood cell count is finally back down in the normal range. And when they told me that, I probably could have jumped through the ceiling, because I knew what was coming next. When she said, "Oh, your white blood cell count is in the normal range," so basically, you really don't have to take antibiotics anymore every single day. And then she said to me, "How do you feel about us removing your PICC line?" And I looked at her and I said, "I don't feel no ways about it. I would be happy for you to take it. If I don't need it anymore, girl, you can have it. We can do this right now, actually." And she was like, "Well, let me see if the nurse is available to do it." She was like, "If the nurse is not available to do it, then I'll put the order in for your home nurse to take it out tomorrow." And I said, "Okay, that ain't no problem. It's no problem at all." The nurse, however, was available. Praise God, I want to do it. And she was able to remove my PICC line while I was in the doctor's office. So I came home with both of my arms free from any type of needle, cord, tape, adhesive, little mesh cover. Because when you have a PICC line, they put a mesh cover over all of the tape and the things. Girl, none of that. None of that. Also, this means that I don't have to set time aside every day anymore to give myself antibiotics. I don't have to flush no more lines. I don't have to put saline up my arm anymore. I don't have to do that. My arm is now free so that when I get in the shower, it's okay if it gets wet. It's okay if we let a little water trickle down our arm. It's going to be fine. It's not going to hurt a thing. It is not going to hurt a thing. Now, my phone did just ring, and hopefully that didn't pick up on our call. But yeah, so I'm free of the PICC line now, and I'm so excited about that. So truly, from this point on, all I have to do is stay healthy. Like, I don't need to get sick. I don't need to catch anything. And I certainly don't need to hurt myself. So I don't need to fall. I don't need to bump into anything. I just need to stay as healthy as possible between now and when it's time for me to have the next surgery. I did have that CAT scan on Tuesday. I have not gotten the results. I won't get them until next week. They did make me drink that nasty drink. I don't know if we talked about that on the last call, but they had given me this thing that they called a smoothie. And they were like, oh, drink this 90 minutes before you come to get your scan. When I opened that thing and I smelled it, it didn't smell bad. So I was thinking, okay, we can do this. This is going to be fine. When I took the first sip and it tasted like Pepto-Bismol, but like with a slight vanilla twist, I said to myself, oh, this is going to be interesting. I don't know how this is going to go for me. So I start sipping, and I'm sipping, and I'm sipping, and I'm sipping. And I'm trying to get as much of that down as I possibly can. Okay, so my appointment was at 6. By the time they called my name to go back for my scan, I had only drank half of that drink. Now, when I made the appointment for the scan and they told me I was going to have to drink that drink, I told them, oh no, I don't have to do that because I have a PICC line. You can put that contrast right in my arm and we'll be good to go. So no worries there. I don't need to drink whatever this is. Whoever I spoke to over the phone was like, oh, no. Everybody has to drink the drink. Like, sorry, but girl, like, you're not special. You're going to have to drink the drink. So come up here the day before and pick it up so you'll have it and you'll be ready for your scan. I said, okay. I pick it up. Fast forward to where we just left off. I was unable to drink the whole thing. I only made it halfway through. They called me back there for my scan. The woman that's about to do my scan sees that I was only able to drink half of it. And she was like, ooh, did it make you nauseous? I said, yeah. I said, at some point while I was drinking it, I felt like all of it was about to come back up because you guys also told us to drink as much water as we possibly could before we started drinking this. So I drank 3 liters of water before I even started drinking this. So my belly is full. Not to mention, this is just disgusting. Like, it's just nasty. So I'm having a hard time getting it down. That woman looked at me and she said, well, it's okay because your doctor put in the order for you to have the contrast via IV. And then I looked at her and I said, oh, so I don't even need to stress about not having drank this whole thing. She looked at me and she said, no. She was like, but if you just would for me, take one more sip and then we'll throw it away. I took one more sip. She threw it away. And so then I was sitting there thinking to myself, so for the past 90 minutes, I could have actually been at ease, in perfect peace. I didn't have to be forcing myself to drink this stuff because y'all were going to give me contrast in my IV anyway. I said, see, sometimes we really do be knowing and we just have to speak up a little bit strongly for ourselves. Either way, the scan was super quick. I was in and out of there in not even 10 minutes. And we'll find out next week what the results of that scan show. So, and I have to have another scan after that. So if this scan doesn't show like, girl, you're 100% healed, blah, 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 it's fine because I have another scan before, they will actually set a date for surgery. And for that next scan, that's actually the scan where I'm like, yeah, I would like for that scan to show that like, girl, you're good to go. So that I can have my surgery when I'm supposed to have it. So, like I said, keep me in your T's and P's. We're not out of the woods just yet, but things have gone so well for me this week that I do feel like we are moving right along and I'm about to enter into a place where I can actually rest without being sick. And I'm excited about it. I get the Women's Health magazine in the mail. Now, if you don't subscribe to that magazine, girl, you don't have to, because I do. I pay for it, so y'all don't have to. Let me just say a couple things before we get into the article that was in the magazine that I just got. This month, the cover girls are Asia Wilson and Dawn Staley. Now, I feel like everybody knows who Dawn Staley is. If you don't, she is a WNBA legend. She's an Olympian, and she currently coaches for the University of South Carolina women's basketball team. If you don't know who that is, look her up. She's literally everything, period, but huge in like the basketball world. One of her players at one point in time was Asia Wilson. She played for her in college. She coached her during the Olympics. And right now, Asia is a star on the Las Vegas Aces WNBA basketball team. She is a 3-time, I believe, world champion and a 4-time MVP. And the 3 and 4 on that, I might have it backwards, but I don't think so. I think I'm right. 4-time MVP, 3-time champion. Or did I just say it backwards again? I don't know. But basically, she's a legend in her own right. She's a legend in her own right. And they are the cover stars for Women's Health this month. Now, Women's Health really needs to get their photography like up. And I hesitated to say what I really wanted to say. But you know how Vogue magazine gets so much grief when they photograph Black women, and we always talk about how bad those pictures look? Women's Health is the same way. These girls never look their best in this magazine. They never. But when I mean to tell you, that's not exclusive to Black women for their magazine. It's literally almost everybody. And for some of their cover girls, I wonder if those women have their own personal photographers do the shoot. And then they just send Women's Health the photos that they want them to have. I don't know. Because it's rare that this magazine comes in the mail and I'm like, ooh, these are like beautiful photos of so-and-so. And it just so happens that this month, the cover that I got. And I think that there are several covers, which, you know what? I don't like it when magazines do that either. When they do like 4 different covers of the same person, because I think that's what they did for this. And I did not get the good cover. I got the candid shot that looked like neither one of them was ready for the the shutter on the camera. It's like they caught them between photos or something. Anyway, in this month's cover, or in this month's issue of Women's Health Magazine, they did a whole article on how to microdose your happiness. I am interested in that because right now I am in a space where I have what feels to be unlimited amounts of free time, but really nothing to fill it with, right? Or I'm not going to word it like that. All of the things that I would normally fill with this time, I just can't do those things. So I'm having to figure out other ways to like bring joy into my day and into my life that are new to me, right? And even today in my doctor's appointment, the doctor talked to me again about seeing a therapist and talking to somebody about how this is such a tricky time in your life because you are starting to feel better, which means quite naturally you want to go back to doing a lot of the things that you used to do, but there are limitations on what you can do. So you might not be able to do those things. So what do you do to bring yourself joy, and like how do you navigate that, especially when you're a person like me who's in kind of like a limbo stage where you shouldn't be overdoing anything and you really should be resting, but you also don't want to just completely miss out on the few weeks that you like have between surgeries where you're not sick and you're also not back into like a recovery stage. And she asked me, she was like, are you talking to anybody about that? Or like, what's your plan while you wait for the next surgery? And I told her, I was like, well, no, I'm not talking to anybody about it, but you're absolutely right. Like those are very accurate, like thoughts and feelings that I have had, because it's kind of hard to explain to people because people see you getting better. So they just assume you're better when really like, yeah, I am getting better. And to look at me, I look a lot better than I did. But to be honest, like, yeah, I feel like this is just a bizarre time where I would like to be doing something, but I really don't even know what to do because all of my hobbies focused around either cooking or being active outside of my house, right? So I thought this article was interesting because it talks about microdosing joy. And joy is something that's become so popular on social media with people talking about ways to like romanticize their life and what brings them joy and blah, 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 blah. And it always seems like big things. And even when I see people talking about like, oh, it's the little things, it's the small things, I don't know how consistently anybody really does the small things. What I think, or I'm assuming, and you know what happens when you do that, but I assume people probably power through the work week or like power through all the things they have to do all week. And then on the weekend, they do like big burst of joy. And then they power through the week and then it's like a big burst of joy on the weekend. Whereas what this article is saying is that each and every day you should be doing these little small things that don't take a lot of time to microdose your joy. And they give us 7 strategies on how to do that. Now, I am also going to just quickly point out that at the end of this article in Women's Magazine, it abruptly stops without fully completing. Like it stops the article in the middle of a sentence. And I flipped through the magazine to make sure I wasn't crazy. I flipped to the back of the magazine because you know how like back in the day, sometimes they would finish an article way at the end of the magazine for whatever reason. I did that. I didn't see anything. So I don't know what's going on over there at Women's Health magazine, but I feel like they need to get it together. Anyway, in this article about microdosing joy, they give us 7 strong strategies for microdosing joy throughout your day and or week, because they understand that sometimes day to day might not be an option. Number 1, they say to talk to strangers every day. And don't I say that at the end of every podcast episode? But they say talking to people at the coffee shop or the grocery store only takes a moment, and it actually makes us feel better. They say to remember that even fleeting interactions can be potent. And I would have to fully agree with that. I'm a yapper. I chat up people. When I used to be out in the wild, I would say, hey, how you doing? Like when people are at work and they'll say, hey, how are you? I don't even think they're expecting a response, but they would be like, hey, how are you? And I would be like, I'm good, girl. How are you? And sometimes it catches people off guard and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm fine. Or like, girl, I'm at work. That's how I'm doing. I live in Atlanta, so sometimes the responses vary, but I enjoy them all, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, they say to master a micro skill like parallel parking, that's a no, making a flawless latte, that I'm into, or you can accomplish a new feat like a handstand, probably not in this season of my life. These small doses of satisfaction can have a real impact. And I do believe that that is true. So one of the things that I have been getting back into since, I'm home now is playing the guitar. If you remember, that was on my 2025 bingo card. And when I started trying to figure out ways to keep my brain stimulated throughout all of this so that I wasn't literally watching TV all day, every day, I remembered one day, girl, that's right. You got a whole guitar for Christmas and it is downstairs. Go down there and get it. And let's start doing our guitar lessons again every day. So I cut my nails really short because my nails had gotten really long throughout all of this. I cut my nails down really short and I have been doing my guitar lessons every day. And that really does, number 1, make me happy. But then it also kind of gives me something to do, and it is stimulating. So I enjoy my guitar time every day. Number 3 is lean into novelty. They say that taking a different walking route around your neighborhood or ordering a new dish when you go out to eat can deliver a form of delight. And even if you decide you prefer something else later, you will still get a sense of joy for having tried something new. Now, I feel like that second one, it depends on how hungry you are. If I'm really hungry, I'm not ordering nothing new. It'll be joy to me just to have what I know is sure to be a good thing, right? So I feel like that one is some of those examples I'm agreeing with. Some of those examples, I'm like, girl, do what's best for you in that moment. Number 4 is leave tiny reminders. Jot down one beautiful life moment on a sticky note each day. And a psychotherapist says this, not just something you're grateful for, but something visually or emotionally beautiful, she says. The pink sky at 7:42 a.m. The way your daughter laughs with her whole body. A sentence from a novel that made you exhale. Place them on a mirror, your fridge, or your laptop, and let them stack up. I kind of like that idea. I know when Being Mary Jane first came out, people were writing down like affirmations and sticking them on their window or their mirror. And I kind of get the same vibe from that. But with the way my memory works, I don't know if writing like things that I saw would necessarily move me or bring me joy. Quite possibly. Like if I wrote Cowboy Carter Tour nights 1 and 4, that probably would be like, oh yeah, that would trigger my memory. And I would be like, oh yeah, girl, what a time. what a time. So I guess I could kind of see that. But I do think the example of writing down sentences from a novel would have a far greater impact on me, because I cannot tell you, and I'm not even the most consistent reader, right? But when I am reading and there's like a sentence in a book or something in a book where I'm like, dang, that was dope, or like, dang, that was really neat, I like the way they worded that. If I were to write those things down and put them on my mirror, I think that would give me a little boost of joy in the morning. I think I was reading, which book was that? It was the book that we all read. And it's right over there on my nightstand, but it's too far away for me to see it. Give me a second. It's a Kennedy Ryan book, and it's the second book in the Skyland series. The name of that is escaping me in the moment, but I want to say in that book there's a page that says, if you're looking for me, I'm out with lanterns looking for myself, or something like that. And is that in that book, or am I bringing another book into the fold? Or is that in Beach Read by Emily Henry? See, I don't know. That's how I know I'm not a book girly. I just know I read that in a book while I was at the beach, and it left an impression on me. So much so that I remember it enough to be able to say it back to you. But now I got to figure out what book I read that in. Maybe one of my book girlfriends will text me when they hear this and be like, girl, you read that in so-and-so. And I might go over there and try to find it. But I do feel like that's a good idea. Number 5, commune with nature. So they recommend a mindful practice of what they are calling a sit spot, which is simply finding a place in nature, off a trail, in a local park, or in your own garden to sit still and engage your senses for 15 to 20 minutes. And I think that is a good one. I mean, being outside is never a bad idea. You get vitamin D. I do feel like being in nature does calm your senses. And if you can do 15 to 20 minutes, I do think that does change like your entire vibe for the day. Number 6, embrace your silly side. Put on googly eyes on random household items, or name your houseplants after historical figures and greet them in character. Little moments of doing something a bit goofy and out of the ordinary aren't peak experiences, but they will make you smile. And I'm all here for a sense of humor, which is not exactly what they're saying, but I feel like it works. I feel like if you approach more things with like a comedic outlook, it lessens the blow. You're able to kind of have a different perspective on things. I think you end up landing in that place where you're kind of like, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff, because you're looking at things through that funny lens. And I really do think, not with what I have going on right now, but just in general in life, I think to know me is to know whether I'm saying it or not, there is always a joke in my mind. Like, there is always something that I'm thinking and probably not saying it about what's going on around me. And 99% of the time, it is funny, or it is at least funny to me. And I really do think in a lot of ways that helps me reduce my stress, and it keeps me like in a nice, healthy place, which is different from toxic positivity, because I know somebody is chomping at the bit to like message me and be like, oh, but that's toxic positive. No, it's not. Those are two completely different things. Me finding the humor in most things and not taking too much of anything too seriously to the point where it's stressing me out is one thing. I think people just being neglectfully positive is something completely different. So yes, start to lean into and embrace the fact that most of this is kind of funny when you think about it until it's not. And the things that are not funny will be so obvious to you that you would have no choice to take them seriously. And then lastly, number 7, they say give little gifts. Small offerings have a big joy payoff. Sending a 2-line message to someone just to say you're thinking of them, telling a friend they look lovely, or silently wishing well to people you pass in the street can shift your mood quite significantly. And I 100% agree with that. That's why I always say compliment somebody, make somebody's day, because the more positivity and like kindness and all of that you give out, I do really believe that it leaves something inside of you that does help you. I also believe that it keeps you from aging like a raisin. And while I don't have the science to quite back that up, if you are someone who is concerned about aging and you're using all these anti-aging products because you feel like you're starting to look a little older than you would like, try being super nice to people and see if that doesn't help you reverse some of that. I just thought that article was so interesting. Now I want to talk about some random mess. Number 1, throughout this whole time, like I said, I've had the time to actually try things and do things. One of the first things that I tried once I was feeling better was the overnight face mask that I had been hearing so much about all over social media. Not only does it work, but it has made a fan out of me. Now, you only get 4, or the brand that I bought, you only get 4 masks in a box. So I only do the mask once a week, but I kind of feel like when I use the mask, when it's matched up with like my regular skincare routine, I don't need the mask more than once a week. I'm so happy with what my skin looks like, and I can't wait to see how well my skin continues to do now that I'm off antibiotics, because I do want to be 100% honest. I feel like my skin, this is the best my skin has ever looked. And a part of me feels like, ooh, your skin looks great like this because you've been on antibiotics for forever. So there is no bacteria in you, which is where like a lot of skin issues come from. So now that I'm off antibiotics, I want to see if I'm able to like keep my skin looking so clear and healthy and glowy and dewy. And so I'm going to keep trying the overnight face mask because I really do feel like it works wonders. It wasn't uncomfortable. It stayed in place and it did what it was supposed to do. Everything that they said the mask was going to do, I feel like it did it for me. Speaking of amazing skin, Meghan Markle went to Paris Fashion Week and everybody was talking about her glow, like that shimmer, that highlight, that bronzy look on her face. And I just want everybody to know that you too can have that Meghan Markle glow if you use Rihanna's Fenty matchsticks. All you have to do is either go into your local Sephora or Ulta. I don't know which one carries her line. I think they both do, but they both might not have the matchsticks. So that's why I say both stores. I know people have their feelings about which one of those stores is their favorite. And I'm just here to say I don't have a dog in that fight. I just know where the products are. And I know both stores carry Fenty, but I don't know if both have the matchsticks. All you got to do, get the matchsticks, and you can order them online for that matter. Get your shade for the concealer on the matchsticks. You need the concealer matchsticks, you need the bronzer, and you need one of the highlights. Now, the matchsticks also come in a blush, but for the Meghan Markle look, you don't need the blush. You just need the bronzer, the concealer, and the highlighter. And you too can have that shimmery glow. Now, I read what her makeup artist said he did to help her achieve that look. And he said he mixed some of her foundation or concealer with her skincare serum. And girl, I guess you could do that too. You could try that. but literally, you could also just use these matchsticks and have that same glow. We know quite recently we lost Diane Keaton, and I love her as an actress, and I'm going to quickly share my favorite Diane Keaton movies because I said so. Baby Boomer, Something's Gotta Give, The Family Stone, First Wives, and Morning Glory. I watch The Family Stone every Christmas season. It makes me cry every year like I don't know what's going to happen. Baby Boomer is one of the earlier, well, not really earlier, but it's like an older movie. If you watch that in 2025, it might annoy you and irritate you a little bit because, these days women, we think a whole lot differently about what it's like to be working mothers. But to see that that's what her character was portraying even back then says a lot about why she is the legend that she was. So sad news about Diane Keaton. Even sadder news about D'Angelo. I mean, when I first saw that come across my timeline, I don't think I really believed it until it started flooding the timeline. And that's just heartbreaking. And I really do feel like now we are at that age where it's possible that some of the people that we have grown up listening to, for whatever the reason, it just might be, they just might get called home, right? They might transition a little bit earlier than what we would have expected. And that makes me kind of sad. I know people have been sharing his kids online, and I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right because I'm like, if I didn't know them kids when he was still alive, I shouldn't know them now. That's number one. Number two, some of the other stuff that I feel like happens after celebrities pass away does really make me wish we went about things differently. Now, it just so happens, well, in my world, in the world that I exist in anyway, I feel like D'Angelo was a very celebrated music artist. Like, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him. I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement that his music is timeless, like masterpieces. His albums are like full albums that you don't skip through. His music videos are really the stuff of music video gold. And we don't really have to go all the way into it, but we know we love to see him coming and going, right? So, and not all of that is what it is. But I kind of feel like some of the think pieces that people start to do once famous, especially famous Black people, pass away, it's like off-putting and tacky. Like, y'all could keep all of those opinions to yourself. Like, if these were not conversations that you were trying to have when people were alive, now is not the time, because I don't know if you know this, but they cannot read what you're writing. At this moment in time, you have missed your opportunity to make that a relevant conversation. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're on a much classier side of threads than I am. But some of the stuff that I have been seeing has just been, I don't know, just low and kind of dirty. And I'm just like, why now? Why would you choose to talk about these things now? Like, you can keep it. I also wanted to kind of quickly share some of the things that I have seen on TV that I do believe, is worth your stream time if you have time to binge watch a show. And like I said, I have been home from the hospital since September 10th, and I have been streaming ever since. So the list is long, so you hang in there, girl. But I'm gonna give you some good TV. Number 1, The Girlfriend on Prime. You'll love it. Don't start it on a weeknight. This is definitely a weekend binge, because once you start watching it, you're not going to be able to stop. Daria in Detroit. I hope I'm saying her name right. This show is good. Morris Chestnut is in it. Did it keep my full attention for the whole thing? No, I feel like this is kind of a show you can scroll and watch at the same time and you don't miss much. But, it's worth the stream if you need something to have running while you might be doing something else. Reasonable Doubt is back. We love this show. It's better and better every season. I really hope that Lewis, her husband, finds his way off this show. I don't know if Jax needs to cheat on him or just flat out break up with him, but I'm sick of Lewis and I'm ready for him to go. The Morning Show on Apple TV, very good. Karen Pittman is one of the stars of this show, as well as Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston. It's a show about network television. Started at season 1, catch up to where we are now in season 3, and you will not be disappointed. Quarterback is a docuseries on Netflix. You do not have to like football to like this. The quarterbacks that are up there, you will probably be familiar with their names at least. But I personally liked seeing their life off the field, like their life with their family. And I kind of like learning about what it takes to be an NFL quarterback. I like learning stuff like that. Victoria Beckham, also on Netflix, is a docuseries about Victoria Beckham. She starts telling her story from when she was a Spice Girl all the way up to building her fashion empire. She talks about how her relationship with the press affected her and her self-esteem. She's very likable. Her and David Beckham are so cute together. I root for her, but then again, I might be biased because I like the Spice Girls. And I just feel like that's a really good watch. Project Runway, the most recent season with La Roche. Remember before, all of my big to-do, we were watching that all together. Well, girl, it's over now. I have a couple things to say about Project Runway. Number one, why we didn't have that many episodes. I feel like I was watching it and then it just ended and we were at Fashion Week. And was it the budget? Did someone not get along with someone? What happened? Did Heidi just have that in her contract that she was willing to come back, but not for all of those episodes? I don't know, but I'm happy with the results of the season. I won't say who won just in case somebody wants to binge watch it, but the person that won is the person that I was actually rooting for, so I'm happy for them. Love is Blind. Let's start with Love is Blind UK because I feel like that is the far superior version of that show. Those people actually go on the show, I think, to fall in love. And of course, by the time the reunion happens, some of them are still married, some of them are not. But it's good TV over there in the UK. Love is Blind, that's happening right here in these United States, is keeping true to the current theme of this country in that it is trash. But I'm still watching it anyway because, girl, what is a girl to do when she's got all this free time? I don't know. So I watch just a little bit of everything. I'll keep you updated. Right now, that show is proving to be another disappointing season. I don't think they vet those people or do a background check on them. They can't be. They cannot be. Ruth and Boaz. I watched it. It was cute. Do I feel like I need to see it again? No. Do I feel like you should have your expectations set for it to be the exact story of the Bible? Absolutely not. Because Ruth and Naomi, while they are definitely in the movie together, they're not in that movie together enough for me to say that that is what you should expect. So go into it thinking it's going to be a cute little romantic movie and you'll be fine. But it's cute. The Wrong Paris is a movie on Netflix as well, because Ruth and Boaz is on Netflix. The Wrong Paris is on Netflix. It is a movie that's basically about a dating show similar to The Bachelor. I enjoyed that movie so much. That is actually a movie that I would watch again, actually, just to have it like running while I'm doing something. That's how cute that movie was. You should give that one a nice little stream. Earthquake. joke telling business. It's his new stand-up special on Netflix. Everybody knows Earthquake is funny. I don't have to sell that one. You should watch it if you like, comedy stand-up specials. And lastly, I watched About My Father, which is a movie on Netflix that has Robert De Niro in it. And it was cute. It was cute. It was cute. I'm trying to think. I know the other thing I wanted to say about that. Kim Cattrall, Samantha from Sex and the City, is also in that movie. And I love her. I think she's a great actress. And I think the worst thing that ever happened to And Just Like That was the fact that Samantha was not on it. But you can watch her on About My Father on Netflix right now. And she does very, very well in that role. Oh, and another thing that I watched was The Nanny. I rewatched it because I felt like I had gotten to the end of TV. And I was like, well, now I got to start binge watching things I've already seen. So I started with The Nanny. And I love Fran. Every time I decide to binge that show, it's never old to me. Like the comedic timing between Cece and Niles the butler, the romantic tension between Maxwell and Fran. It's always like I'm watching it for the first time. However, this time, now that I've watched it over the age of 40, I do feel like Maxwell was a little bit of an F-boy, was he not? The way he kind of dangled himself as a carrot in front of Fran, the way he led her on, the way he made himself and like his lifestyle seem like the prize. Like Maxwell would have been a day late and a dollar short for me. Then again, I'm not a girl from New Jersey that ended up accidentally being a nanny. But Maxwell would have been a day late and a dollar short for me, because what you're not going to do is be sometimey with me. Sometimes you're into it. Sometimes you're not, and you trying to make me figure that out, and I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't care how wealthy you are, because let's face it, you're wealthy with these 3 kids, which wasn't a minus for Fran. Wasn't a minus for Fran. Probably would have been a minus for me if we're keeping it a buck. But I rewatched that and it was good. So at this point in my TV watching, I'm starting to watch old romantic comedies because they are comfort watches. No one dies. There's no killing. There's no big plot twist. Like, it's just comfortable TV. If you have a comfort movie that you watch over and over again, and it's kind of along the lines of like a Coming to America. That's my favorite movie. And I think at this point, I'm watching it a couple times a week. Something like It's Complicated with Meryl Streep, or Clueless, or Mean Girls, or anything like that. Love Jones, The Brothers, The Best Man. Even though there's a fight in that one, I can kind of get past it because everybody's fine. Any movie like that, please message me and give me the name of that movie, because I feel like when I sit down to like snuggle up and take a nap and watch a movie, my brain instantly goes like, girl, we can't come up with a movie. Like, what movie are you trying to watch? And then I end up scrolling. And I'm like, no, I need to sit down knowing what movie I'm going to watch, find that movie, and then hit it. So yes, throw those recommendations out to me. I think that's it, girl. I think that's all my little voice can take. So proud of myself for not coughing so much through this. I tried to suppress it as much as I could. Remember, when you're out, say something nice to another woman, compliment her and make her day. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you, and never knock another woman's hustle. I will talk to y'all again real soon. Talk to you later, girl. Love you. Bye.